got the most hilarious text from Crazy Lisa, friend of the pod.
Oh, re-enter the chat with Crazy Lisa.
Can I just read it?
Please do. Indulge us.
And Lisa's the kind of friend, we all have this friend, where there's not really an end to the text conversation. It's just like a constant dialogue.
Stream of conscience.
Stream of consciousness. So we never go, hey, babe, how have you been? You know, there's none of that. This is how she broke into my phone last night. Her son, Harry has named himself Gyat Destroyer in a game, and I instantly laugh. She goes, Gyat means ass, apparently. I was like, yeah, it does. It's like internet lingo for butt.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was today years old.
Yeah, Gyat. It's in there with skibbity and whatever Ohio means.
Sorry, I know I'm fucking with the flow of this text, but I need to know the spelling.
Gyat.
Gyat means ass.
But you're Gyat.
Okay.
I don't know why I don't know the etymology, but I know it is.
Fucking old.
My kids say it too. They re-sing that Benson Boone song and they go, these beautiful things like my Gyat. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And they laugh and it's so funny. And I'm like, it's not even witty. It's not even a perfect rhyme. Anyway, so she's like, he's named himself Gyat Destroyer in a game, which apparently means ass. He means it as in ass kicking, but it sounds like a grinder name.
It sure does.
I said it 100% sounds like a gay dom term. And he's like, so funny. She's like, I was like, mate, we are going to have a very different chat about this when you were older. And we laughed.
Aww.
We laughed and we laughed. Gyat Destroyer.
Oh my God.
But I was also like, I feel like this is internet safety chat we need to have, but it was too funny to bring the downer of that into there. Anyway, should we get into the episode?
Yes, let's. Gyat Destroyer. What would your name be, just quickly?
On a game?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd just be Revsy. It's a good thing about Revs.
Not Revhead?
No.
Yeah.
Well, not
Give
really.
it a bit of punch, you know?
No, but the good thing about Revs, because it's not a real name, it's never taken. So, like, I can have Kate Revs on Instagram. I can have Kate Revs at, I can have my email address.
Totally.
It's never taken because it doesn't exist.
Fair.
So I'm always just Revs and it's easy to remember everything.
I'm kind of toying with the idea of like peanut power. Don't you reckon there'd be a character in Super Mario? It's like a mushroom level up. Peanut power. She's just leaving me
Peanut power.
with egg on my face. It's fine. Let's get into the episode.
If there was a pun on peanut
no,
allergy.
I want to get to the episode.
A peanut allergy because it takes you down, you know? Because you're gaming, you're trying to win, you take people down. It's like a competitive thing.
Yeah.
You could be like
A power up of the peanut variety.
peanut allergy, I don't know.
Punisher?
It needs peanut punisher.
No, that also sounds sexual.
If your name was Anna, you could be anaphylaxis. No, not funny. Not worth joking about.
No.
Start the episode.
Yes, let's.
We have 1,000 things to do, but we'd rather chat to you. With emails and meetings and husbands and kids, we don't have time for this. Just what you need, two basic bitches with a podcast.
These beautiful things like my cat.
Hello and welcome to We Don't Have Time for This. I'm your host, Gemma Pranita, aka Gemma Peanut Power Up.
Gemma Peanut Power Up.
Not
Gemma Peanut was cutesy enough as it was. You can't add peanut power.
Look, I just think when you think of the gaming world,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like Powder Puff vibes. You know, it's cutesy, but
Yeah.
it's like, I'm going to win. It's
I love that you're like in Super Mario. You're not in the like games where people.
I'm
you
a
know, shoot 'em up.
millennial. I know nothing more than Super Mario
You're a millennial
World.
and you're not a gamer.
I know. Well, depends. Candy
Parlor
Crush.
games are not. Oh, Candy Crush.
I'm a crusher from way back.
Yeah, it's funny because you don't think of yourself as like an addictive person, but you've got some addictive traits in the funniest little areas.
Yeah.
Candy Crush being one.
Candy Crush is less addiction, more soothing object.
yeah.
It's like
Like a fit. What are they called?
fidget toy. Yeah.
fidget.
It's like my wind down routine. It's mindless. I can do it and watch Survivor at the same time. Just crush candy in tandem.
Yeah,
the other
mine's
thing
Pinterest.
Oh, it's Pinterest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I also love a Pinterest
Yeah.
scroll.
The amount of stunning boards I've made that I've never gone back to enjoy.
Same girl.
It's the
Same.
making of them. That
Yeah,
is
you get the
the
dopamine.
soothe.
Yeah.
It soothes me.
It's
yeah.
lovely. The other one I can recommend, I know we're not up to not spons, is water sorting games. Very soothing, different coloured layers. Producer Kate's laughing at me. But it's true, different layered colours of water, and then you have to sort them so that they're all in one test tube. And it's very soothing.
You love that. You love putting things into
order. Colour coding is my jam. And that's why I love water
Is
sorting.
this an ADHD thing? Because I thought ADHD like difference and variety and layers of things.
No. I think it's my perfectionism traits.
Yes.
And Raf is quite similar. So Iggy has this basket of Hot Wheels. It's a mess of cars. And I can't, every week, ritualistically, she puts them in colour order. So she'll put all the purple Hot Wheels together, all the red, and she's a colour sorter like me.
Yeah.
It's like when I had colouring pens, I like them to be in a gradient order.
100%.
Yeah, so you get it.
Yeah, if you remember connector pens, or well, not
Yes,
remember, our
Faber-Castell.
kids all still have them. But I remember owning my own.
Yeah.
And you'd make the armband.
Yes, make a
If you had
rainbow.
two armbands, if you had enough.
Yeah, you're not going to put green next to brown next to orange,
Don't
are
be
you?
ridiculous.
No, you're going to go
What are you, a fucking
shades of
psychopath?
red into orange into yellow.
Where it gets tricky is the blue to green transition.
What do you do?
Well, there is no seamless. I'm so serious about this. There is no seamless transition because there's no middle aqua. It's too pale.
Yeah, you're right.
You've got to jump from a dark to a pale, or you're fucking it up.
Do you keep purple with blue, or
Yes.
does purple
Yes.
connect with red?
Well, red, then purple, then
Yeah,
blue.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
great. We're on the
please.
same track.
Come
Okay, there's
on.
obvious things.
Come
I'm just
on.
checking we're on the same creative page.
Literal science about this. It's
Yeah.
not even that creative.
And
It's quite
very-
scientific.
It's very soothing to look at when you see those things. And I know Raf's going to be that kid. We're not there yet, where she will organize all of her stationery just so. Like I was that person who would get a beautiful stationery box with brand new fresh colors, whether it was crayons or watercolors, whatever it was, and I wouldn't use it because it just I liked how pretty it looked,
Oh,
in the box,
no.
and I didn't want to have a stumpy one, or I would try and use them evenly, all the
God,
colors.
that's so stressful.
No, I am a punish. We know this about me. It's exhausting in my brain. Things need to look a certain
Oh
way.
no,
This is-
I had certain colors that were like half level because they're my faves. You know,
yeah, okay.
those purples, those aquas.
Yeah, but then I'd
Skin
worry
tone.
colors will be neglected. Have you read that book?
What, like
The
you're
Day the
worried about their
Crayons-
feelings?
Well, maybe I was just always thinking like I didn't want to feel more used than the other.
There was always those girls at school who would not share. You're like, can I use your blue? And they're like, it's running out.
and you're like, it's
I was
clearly
like,
not.
What? I never got that. I was
Yeah,
like, but
it's
I need.
weird.
Okay.
I was always fine with sharing stationery. Food, different issue.
What do you mean?
I don't share food very well.
No,
Yeah, snacks, packet
that's
of chips.
your weird scarcity thing.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from.
No. It's very off-brand
weird.
for you, actually.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
not very caring.
But you like to take other people's food. Love it. So I would say you're professional
yeah,
at it. Yeah.
absolutely. Raiding other people's pantries, I'm there.
When
Professional.
Jem comes over to my house, it's like I have a teenage daughter.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, Jem's home for the holidays. And actually, yesterday, Teddy went to get his pickles and he goes, has Jem been here? I was
So
like,
sad.
yeah, she has.
Yeah.
I forgot to replenish your pickles.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't touch their Mars bar stash though, their mini Mars bars. I restrained myself.
They're actually Americanos Mars bars.
Oh God.
Mars bars? Mars bars.
Sorry, what happened
I don't
there?
know. I don't know if that sounded like I said it wrong. We can't have another loose set.
No, we can't.
just
We
had
got to
one.
keep it together. We're keeping it together.
Professional.
Being professional. Speaking of professional, DLs, we have noticed lately that you guys are loving on our Instagram our weekly polls.
Yes.
Like, it's really cool to see you guys participating.
Weighing in.
but
Yes.
also like really standing your ground and following up with a DM and explaining your
Yes.
reason for choosing this particular vote on things.
Totally.
And the episode where Revz talked about hot 40th cold feet, where she was feeling unsure about what to do about her 40th and the anxiety around throwing any sort of event and the pressure that comes with it. Oh my goodness, the opinion polls were popping off.
Oh my God, so much engagement with this topic.
Yeah.
Like I personally as well, we don't have time for this, got hundreds of DMs from people turning 40 this year or who turned 40 last year or the year before saying like, I didn't celebrate my 40th and I regret it, or I didn't. And you know what? Nothing happened. Like,
Yeah.
But a lot of people, anyway, we'll start with parties, but a lot of people validating me on birthday fragility.
And the other thing that was completely unsurprising to me, but for whatever reason surprising to Revz, is how many of you suffer from party throwing anxiety.
92% of you.
92%. So
Yeah.
we're all in the same boat, feeling very fragile, scared, second guessing, thinking no one's going to show up.
Yeah.
We're all in that boat. So we can all
Yes.
stop worrying together. Let's hold hands
And
and be
it's
like,
amazing there are any parties. It must be the 8% of you who
Yeah.
like don't get party anxiety throwing all the parties.
well, everyone's grateful, right? When you're invited to something, you know, you just show up and maybe bring a plate. I don't know what
Bring
you
a
want to
plate.
drink.
You can't have a bring a plate 40th. Oh, you can. Actually,
You absolutely can. And actually, I want to encourage more of this. When I was living in LA, because we were all poor, broke actors, or we had the occasional friend who's like made it.
yeah.
And they would always host, but we did like potluck for every occasion. It was
Yeah,
bring
it's
a
a nice
plate. And it's,
tradition.
I don't think people have a problem with it. I don't think there should ever be an expectation that if you host, you're putting everything on for everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like that is unsustainable. It's way more sustainable if everyone kind of
Yeah.
chips in and does their thing.
I know my
you
sister like called me after that ep came out and she's like, this is ridiculous. You have the perfect house for a house party. You don't have to have a full catering thing and a band.
No.
She's like, just get a great playlist and a great speaker and tell everyone to bring what they want to drink and just pick a theme.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe. Anyway, Jem's giving me a deadline. So
I
by
have.
next week, I have to turn in my birthday plans.
She's got to make a
or
decision.
she's going to go rogue on me.
I will. I'm going to make plans for you because I'm sick of this. And
I
I,
know, I'm
can't
sick of
handle
myself.
my bestie and this level of indecision that
I
is
know.
very off brand for you.
I know.
It's making me feel nervous and stressed,
We're
if
all
I'm honest.
discombobulated around
So,
here.
you know, you got till next Friday. You got to commit to the party or not, or I'm making alt plans for you, girl.
Fair. I mean, it's, yeah, I don't like being a punish either.
But quickly, DLs, like if you're not on our Insta and you're opinionated, like you're going to want to join the polls because we do them every single week off the back of every episode,
Yes.
especially if you're a soloist DL. Like if you haven't got like a DL group, which I know some of you DLs are, you don't have friends who are listeners and you want to feel part of something, come and join the poll chat.
Come join us. It's really humbling / enabling for us as well. Because we're like, I knew it.
Oh, one of the questions we put on the poll is, what's something beautiful that your kid has wrecked? And
Yeah.
a DL responded with,
My body.
Oh, you know, you guys are way wittier than us.
Oh, it's so true.
Speaking of bodies, you know what I don't have time for?
What don't you have time for, Bestie? It's okay. You can have this chat.
How did you know?
I just know.
Yeah.
Because you did that big sigh.
Well, it's one of those, can we hash this out together? Can I
Yes.
fumble and feel my way through
Yes.
this discussion? Because I've got confused feelings about it and I'm just going to, like crazy Lisa, stream of consciousness chat for a
Yes.
second. So what I don't have time for is my confused and conflicting feelings about having augmentation surgery.
Okay.
So I feel like every single one of us has entertained the idea. If I were to change something about myself, what would it be? And I think most people, and I'm grossly generalizing here, I'm sure there'll be some DLs who are like, I never have that thought. But I think most women, especially
Post kids.
go, well, if I could click my fingers and change X, I would. And there have been some things that one thing in particular that I've been toying around with, but I've got like shame, internalized shame, or maybe it's not even internal. Maybe it's the state of the fucking internet where everyone's got opinions that I'm kind of scared to share this,
Okay.
but I've been considering a certain type of surgery. And
Boobies?
no, not boobies. Yeah, isn't that funny that you
Okay.
thought boobies?
Well, wait, we've chatted about that before
Okay.
on here. You know, you're like, a lot of the chat is, do I want to restore my breasts to pre-breastfeeding boobs? You know, that's a big chat we hear about. Is like, as soon as I'm done breastfeeding and having kids, I'm getting my boobs done.
Yeah.
I've always wanted it, or whatever, you know. That
Well,
kind
I
of
guess my thing around surgeries, and I know I'm really holding off telling everyone what I'm thinking of getting done, but I find it interesting how people have feelings about it. And I think
secondhand feelings.
yeah, when someone's getting something done. Like, for example,
So true.
DLs, like, I want to ask you and be honest with yourself and me as I share this. Like, have you ever had a friend who's like, I'm thinking about getting a nose job, and your immediate thought is like, no,
Yeah.
don't change your face, but not considering in that moment the fact that maybe they've had all this emotional turmoil about their nose and they have all these personal feelings and it's their face and they can do what they want. And why is it your right to have an opinion about their nose? I remember getting my teeth straightened because I had my front teeth crossed over, and I remember
So cute.
very vividly, actually, a lot of our friends' parents, Revz, including your mum, actually, said, "Oh, but it gives you character,
Right.
you know."
It's
And
like, cool, maybe I don't want character. Maybe I want straight fucking teeth like
maybe
you bitches.
I just want to blend in,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I don't want fucking caricature teeth. I just want them to fade into the background and for someone to not
Totally.
notice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to get to the point because I'm doing that thing that I always do. Long runway to the point.
You want to have?
Blepharoplasty.
Oh, eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's called eyelid surgery.
Okay.
And I know some people will be like, why? And this is the reason why it's hard for me to talk about these things. Or I think anyone who has some sort of public platform, there's a decision, right? It's like, do I share this information or do I just quietly go
sneak away and look fresher?
And I think Revz and I have always tried to be really transparent, normalize these things and try and remove the shame and go back to that really basic call of like, you do you.
Yeah.
Like, resist the urge to make other people's decisions about you. And also try and call in this idea that someone else's decision on what they do with themselves is no reflection on you.
No comment on you,
No.
nothing to do with you.
But it is human nature
yes.
that we do apply everything back to ourselves,
Sure.
don't
Well, we can only see out one set of eyeballs
Totally.
towards the world. We only have one perspective.
Yes.
But yes, this fucking kills me. But anyway.
It does. And for some reason with women,
Yeah.
we
Well, we're held to a beauty standard.
we are.
But then when we want to rise to meet that beauty standard for whatever our personal reasons may
Mm-hmm.
be, whether we're into it, whether we just are exhausted and don't want to think about it anymore,
Yeah.
whether it's been a lifetime thing or I'd like to do that.
Yes.
You know, whatever version of the decision, when we rise to meet that
Mm.
beauty standard, then we're like, oh, you're a sellout. You're just right. You're just like everyone else. Oh, now we all look the same. And blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're so vain. Or like,
Yes, you're so vain. And
Yeah.
this is my own inner conflict.
Yeah.
And I'm going to argue with myself where I'm like, I have moments, fleeting moments of like, Jem, don't conform to the beauty standard. Be accepting of how you look and how you're, the term aging gracefully. You know, when people are like, I would never get Botox. I believe in aging gracefully or, and I'm always like.
I believe in aging disgracefully. I really do, actually.
Yeah.
I really do.
What, by getting all the things and all
the last thing I want to be for the remainder of my one wild, precious life is graceful.
Yeah.
Get fucked. I want to live my life exactly how I want. And I want to use this vessel exactly how I want to.
Yeah, but I think for me it comes down to how anything makes you feel. If anything's going to make you show up for the day feeling better, more confident. I mean, Botox I don't want to speak on behalf of Revzy, but for me it's about looking in the mirror and not looking tired.
Or angry for me.
Oh, for you it's angry
Yeah,
because
'cause
of
I've
that
got those
that
really severe
line.
lines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
you
makes me
go,
look angry.
You're like, oh, I look severe, and I'm
Yeah,
not severe.
I'm not severe.
Yeah,
I don't feel that way.
Whereas for me, I go, oh, I look tired, and I want to look like how I feel when I come back on holiday, where you've just got that kind of glow. It's not about changing anything. So back to the Bleph surgery, as it's so affectionately called on the internet. The reason why I want to get it is not to change the shape of my eyes or anything.
I was going to ask, because you
Yes.
have Asian heritage and you have Asian eyes.
Yes.
Eye surgery and an Asian face, they can often go together with deculturalization or whatever, but that's not it.
No,
you don't want to change your eyes.
No, God, no, not
Okay,
at all.
yeah.
There's none of that going on. For me, I love my eyes.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I do. I am. That's something I've never had a problem with. Now, it's funny. When you love something about yourself, you almost want them to,
Sparkle.
well, no, like stay in the youthful
Sure.
peak version of themselves. And
I get this for boobs because I really did have spectacular set of cans at one point.
You did, and to me, you still do have spectacular cans, but they have changed post kids.
Oh yeah.
And genetically, for me, I have hooded eyes, and you know, I was looking at my dad the other day on FaceTime, and he has very hooded eyes. He's full Asian, and I've noticed that the top lid of his eye is now folding over. Like he could get Bleph surgery because there's two reasons why people get Bleph. It's like cosmetic or it's actually covered by insurance because it becomes a vision impairment issue. And my dad is definitely in the vision impairment category where he could do with a eyelid lift because he cannot like see, like he can't open his eyes widely anymore because it's hindering his vision. Whereas I'm not there yet, but you know, I was looking at old photos of myself, and we all do that thing, don't we, where we look at old
So
photos.
fresh, so full of collagen.
So fresh.
So full of hope.
So full of collagen. Also, a body I didn't respect and feel grateful for at the time. And we've all had this where we're like, wow, and I thought I was fat, you know, at that time.
Yeah.
So toxic.
I was gloriously beautiful.
Yeah, and you go, God, Jem, look at you, 21-year-old Jem. You look beautiful, and you didn't think it at the time, you fool.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at old photos and I was like, wow, my eyes look more awake.
Right.
Yeah, they're more open. And I was trying to analyze, have my eyes shrunk? Have they got smaller? Has my face got bigger? What is it? Why do my eyes look more open and vital? And then I realized, oh, it's the hooded part of my eye is with aging has thickened. It's droopier. The skin's gotten heavier.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was... So then, you know,
then starts the wormhole.
Yeah, the wormhole. Fell down. The hyperfocus went so hard. You Google one thing, suddenly 3 hours has passed and you've picked a surgeon. No, I haven't done that. I have not picked a surgeon. But I guess I find what's cool is when you start looking into these things and you fall down a vortex, is it starts to get normalized. And what's really cool on the internet is people share their surgical journeys. I know some people are like, why would you? This is so personal. But I love that people are generous enough to share.
Oh, it's very generous.
So that those who are curious, they can literally see a whole personalized journey of someone's experience, including the recovery. And what I learned with Bleph is it's not particularly invasive and the recovery is quick.
Right.
And it's by surgery standards, let's talk cosmetic surgery standards, it's not that expensive.
Right. Compared to like a boob job, nose job.
Yeah, those big ticket item things where it requires many hours in surgery. Like this is quite quick. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at, but I'm also scared. Like, and I think that's normal too, that why would we choose to subject ourselves to going under, you know, when there's risks that come with that. And when you have kids, you start to make choices in life that mitigates putting yourself in a risky situation. And this would be me actively choosing to go under and then deal with recovery. And how does that impact my husband, my kids? And but I like that the recovery is quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you do recover quickly, you personally.
Yeah,
Not from cosmetic surgeries. I don't think you've had any of those. But like your wisdom teeth, you bounce back quickly.
Totally.
Like when you have an injury, like you do recover
when I gave
quickly.
birth to Rafa, it was quick. I mean, Iggy was different, but that's because it was a hectic emergency code 1 Caesar situation. So that was a shit recovery. But generally speaking, going into something from a state of calm.
So what's happening in your mind then?
Well, it's funny. I feel I'm like sweating.
Do you feel like you're betraying women or like body positivity?
Yes.
I feel you, girl.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I see you.
Revz, I'm sweating sharing this on the mic because there was a version of this where I was like, oh, I can get this done in the school holidays because we don't record episodes. And so, you know, I could get it done. And I don't have to be on camera and it can just happen and I'll just look fresher and people will be none the wiser. Like I did. I had this whole thought about how I can conceal it. Yeah. And then but that didn't sit right.
And then it's like, well, why get it if you want to hide it?
Yeah, but also that just doesn't sit right for me from an authenticity POV, which we know is my other shadow work, is this need to be believed. And then I had a conversation with myself around the shame. It's like, well, no, actively work against that. We don't want internalized shame in any form. So I should be proud. What are you scared of, Jem? People's opinions. family. Like my mum will be hearing about this for the first time if she listens to this episode. And I'm sure her immediate thought is, why? You're beautiful the way you are. Don't change anything. Like, I'm sure, as I would if it was Rafa, my daughter, if she wanted to change anything, I'd be like, no, you're perfect. But it's not about me. It's about her and her feelings. Just like, this is my own journey. And if I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, my eyes feel restored to what they once were, and not so hooded. But then when I say that, I don't want people who have hooded eyes to be like, you got a problem with hooded eyes?
Your eyes are not a comment on anyone else's eyes, Jem.
I know.
And this is what none of us can quite get.
The internet especially doesn't
Well,
get.
the internet, honestly, let's be real for a second. The internet is just emboldened humanity. It's not. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It's not the internet. It's humans.
But lacking decorum.
And hiding behind one layer of, an
protection.
anonymity. But no, people do think, and this is so real in motherhood, like if you choose to have a home birth, somehow that's some comment on how I birthed. It isn't.
It's not.
It isn't.
It's their choice.
And, look, we always try and say, let's not pretend we don't judge. We do. We all judge. It is in our human nature to judge and compare and check.
Yeah.
And I think that part is healthy and, innate
Normal.
and normal.
Yeah.
Like, it is healthy.
Yeah, we're not going to gaslight ourselves and be like, what? I've never judged or brought something back to myself or felt like someone's choice was a commoner. We all
we'll do it because
do it.
in a society, in a pack, in a caveman situation, you want to go, what's that society doing over in the next town?
Oh, they've got that working better.
Their water system's better. We should do
Yeah.
a water system or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, what's happening in their marriage? Do I need to avoid that to keep my marriage safe and healthy? We do compare, but where it goes too far, I think, is when we take on other people's choices about their bodily autonomy, which, by the way, is on the UN list of human rights.
Yeah.
That everyone should have complete bodily autonomy and control over their own body. We take that as some kind of political statement about all women.
I know. It's nonsense. It's actual nonsense.
I can compare this to my hair extensions.
Okay.
So I recently got my hair extensions out and I made a reel about it. And I was just talking about how, because we're not dyeing my natural hair and I haven't been touching it, and when I have extensions, blah, 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 whatever. I made this thing about how my natural hair is kind of healed quite a lot while having extensions, because that's surprising, and people...
Yeah, because people would assume that hair extensions means damaging your hair.
Yes.
But actually, and I was with you in the room when Sally from Halo was talking to you about this, but she explained that actually when you have extensions, you touch your hair less, you tie it up less, you wear it out, and you just leave it be. And there's so much truth to that.
Yeah. And also, I reckon also because you're not stressing about your hair falling out, maybe there's it's given a chance to sort of restore a bit too.
Interesting.
The reason I did that is because people DM me and ask me about my hair extensions all the time, because I've obviously been quite open about them, because this is not my natural hair.
And you're not for a second going to pretend that
I
it
took
is.
a vitamin or had a sleep or went for a walk and then, my hair suddenly...
Drank more water.
3 times in density grown, no. So I've been really open about it. And people ask me about it all the time because they're considering it and they want firsthand experience. Like, oh, but did it damage your hair or whatever? So I said this thing with, it didn't damage. And I said in the post, I'm having some time off my hair extensions. I'm going to get them put back in. But anyway, isn't this an interesting plot twist,
Yeah.
What I didn't expect was all the DMs, comments and messages about, well, there you go. You've healed your hair. You don't need extensions anymore. And I was like, oh, no, I love having hair extensions. I love the look. I love how they make me feel. And I've said multiple times, this is me now. This is the hair I've always wanted, and it makes me feel fantastic.
But people want you to be
People
okay.
want me to not need them, right? And I don't need them. There's nothing wrong with my natural hair, but I'm not making a comment on anyone else's hair
and their choices
and
to not have extensions or to
have or not have. I'm not making comment on thin or fine haired girls. I'm not making a comment on thick haired girls. I'm not saying anything is better or worse. I'm saying I like my hair like this, right? Now, a sample of some DMs I got. Stay strong. Keep your natural hair. Oh, as a makeup artist, I think you look better with your natural hair and it being darker. This color's way better on you.
Yeah,
it looks so
right.
much nicer natural. Like all these like opinion. And now I wasn't seeking. I wasn't doing putting it out there. What do you reckon? Should I get them again? I'm not even pretending to ask for anyone's opinion.
Yeah, right.
But the opinions unsolicited all came at me as in like, there you go. You don't have to do it anymore. You can relax was the vibe sort of thing.
And there it is.
And there it
People's
is.
feelings.
And I'm like,
Yeah, it's
I don't
projection,
think
isn't
I've
it?
had feelings about another person's hair like ever.
Yeah. You might have looked at someone's hair and gone, man, she is so lucky to
Yeah.
have that hair because that's what you yearn
Oh,
for.
I'm not going to lie. I've looked at someone's hair and gone, well, that looks terrible. She looked way better before. Oh no, God, I like it. But I would never go to them
And tell
and
them.
put those
Yeah.
opinions in, because I know that's whatever. I'll move on with my day, and it's none of anyone's business, including my opinion on anyone else's aesthetic choices for themselves. But I also, what I'm so fascinated in now, I've really changed my opinion on all this stuff because I too have gone, no, I should just learn to love and live.
Yeah.
Like I'm just playing into capitalism and body
Yeah,
image and
I have this
and
exact
beauty
inner
standards.
conflict.
I'm giving in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
a sellout.
I'm a seller. I'm
Yeah.
like laying down my placard and just going, fine, I'll conform. And I don't want that for all women. I don't want it for my daughter. I don't want it, you know.
But the
and then you
truth
feel like you're
is-
failing. Well, the truth is, why do I have to fight the fight if I just
Yeah.
want to look a certain way?
Totally.
And why are some things politicized and some things we're used to now, so they're ubiquitous, like dyeing your hair? No one's going to be like, oh, Jem, you're a sellout, you cover your greys. You know, but that's an augmentation.
It is.
What's the difference?
And it costs money. It's feeding
Costs
into
money.
capitalism. It'd be cheaper if I just accepted
It
my
takes
greys.
time. Yeah, it would be very
Yeah.
liberated and cool of you to just rock your greys.
But isn't it funny how there are tiers of what's accepted and what isn't accepted?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I find it really refreshing when people just fucking own their shit. You know, Revz and I have a mutual friend who's getting a nose job,
Mm-hmm.
and I love how she's like, yep, getting a nose job, wanted it forever, so excited. And she puts that out there, and then you go, cool.
Yeah.
But if she was like, and this is why I want to own this
Yeah.
like bleph surgery, because like I said, there's been a whole journey of conversations in my head before bringing it to the pod where I thought I'd keep it a secret. And now I'm like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that.
Fuck it.
Also, I don't want to be in a conversation with a group of people who might have feelings about augmentation and surgery and are bitching about it. And maybe are like gossiping about, did you hear so-and-so went and got blah? And then I'm like, well, I got blah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, and I feel uncomfortable in this. And also, like, why are you judging? Like, you know, a healthy mind acknowledges that it's human to have feelings. It is human to refer things back to yourself and wonder, would I? Should I? I want that for myself. I wish I could have that, but no, I'm not gonna. And why are they doing that? You know, a healthy mind accepts, acknowledges, discards, and moves on.
Moves on.
Unhealthy mind simmers in the toxicity and gets obsessed and lets it hook in and can't let it go, and then sees it as a negative and then projects back onto that person and needs to share their opinions when, quite frankly, often it's not welcome.
I guess the other layer to this is privilege. Like these
Yes.
things cost money and they take time.
Yeah.
Some people don't have a couple of grand and a week off. You
Yeah.
know, they don't have it. And they might desperately want a nose job or a boob job or bleph or hair extension. Like hair extensions are super expensive. And maybe the way they self-soothe is to go, well, I'd love that, but you know, it must be nice. And then that can, and then this, when we're uncomfortable and when we feel like jealous or envious or just like we just feel uncomfortable, the brain searches for permission to feel that way, and it searches for something to hook onto and
does.
go, no, I'm not jealous, or I'm not envious, or I'm not.
They're wrong.
I've got a reason
Yeah.
for my
Yeah.
feelings, you know, and that's very real. Like, you know, there's all sorts of things we all want for our lives that are out of reach for us.
Yeah.
And that can feel really awful. That can feel uncomfortable and yucky, and we need to have a reason to expel that negative feeling.
Totally.
Just expel it to a trusted friend.
Yeah.
That is not going to hurt that person you're discussing.
Well, I think you do need to, in a way, find your people who you do feel safe to talk about this stuff without judgment.
Yeah.
Like, you can always dip a toe in the water and see by
Yeah.
people's reactions.
Oh, mate, I'm at the point in my life where I'm cutting people I can't just be my true authentic
full
self with.
yeah.
And by true authentic being ironic in this chat because we're talking about augmenting. But like I want to sit down with a group of women.
No, but true authentic is like your truth is no, I want these hair extensions and
Yeah.
I'm getting them.
But
I'm
I
not
want to. I want to be able to sit down at a dinner table with a group of women and be like, you know, like, oh fuck, sorry, my butt hurts. I tried cool sculpting, and like, I don't know if it's gonna work for me. But and then
Yeah.
they're not like, what? You did what? I want them to be like, oh, you did? How was that? You know, rather than, you know, like that's the women I want to be around.
100p. I
But
feel
in
exactly the same.
In the same way, I want to be like, guys, fuck, I had the biggest crush on this barista the other day. What the fuck? And they're going to be like, did you? Why? How did it show up? Rather than you're married, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
it's the same thing.
It is.
I just want to be like authentic and be able to normalize joke and
Because
hash
who are
around
we
these things.
fooling
Who are we
otherwise? Like realistically.
But
you
I
know?
don't mean I only want to sit at a table with women who would also make the same choices as me.
No.
Like, I still want to sit at a table with women who are like, oh, I could never do surgery. It's not for me. I'm too scared. I hate needles. Or I know it's not one of my top priorities.
But there's the honesty.
But they don't.
They're honest about
Yeah.
their experience of why
But
they
they
don't
can
want to do
still
something.
engage with your life.
But also, I want to be friends with people or give permission to the people in my life to change their minds.
Yeah.
And evolve, to have a stance and go, oh my God, I would never do that because I'm terrified of needles. And then in the next breath being like, okay, I'm ready for Botox. Who am I seeing? Lynn at Natural 365? Jem, is this what am I doing? You know, and I've got a girlfriend who had a really strong stance against Botox. And
because of its anti-aging.
yeah, and she
Yeah.
was like, I could never, why aren't we aging gracefully? And I was like, you know, boo, you do you, babe. If you don't want to get Botox, that's fine. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend to you that I've never got it. I've got it. I love it. And you know what? If you ever change your mind, I'm your gal
Yeah.
to call and I'll tell you exactly who to go to. And guess what? 2 years later, she came to me and was like, all right, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It's not matching my energy levels. I've suddenly got fit this year. I'm doing Pilates and I'm running for the first time in my life and I feel really good internally, but I look in the mirror and I feel fucking tired. And you told me you feel fresh
Yep.
when you get Botox. Can I have her number? And I went, absolutely. And I was like, she's ready. Or she got there herself or not. It didn't matter.
Doesn't
but
matter.
But the point is,
If she'd never ever did Botox,
yeah,
it wouldn't affect how you feel about Botox for you.
of course not.
Her having a philosophy for herself isn't a comment on us for doing Botox.
But you know what,
It's
being
her face.
but
She
you
can not or participate. It doesn't mean it. It's not about us.
No, it's not. But you know what it means to be a good friend is to create a safe space where friends can like change their mind and evolve and
100%.
argue with themselves and be a walking contradiction and you accept and love them anyway. And you don't
Totally.
hold them to what they said 2 years ago and go, well, told ya. You know, it's about
Yeah.
going,
Oh my God,
fuck your girl.
totally.
You know, like I think that's what being a good friend is
I agree.
accepting those inevitable changes. Like, fuck, if I still held on to the same opinions that I did when I was 16 years old, you know, I'd
How
still,
boring.
yeah, how boring.
Yeah.
Like, can we not evolve?
Can we not evolve?
Seriously.
Yeah, it's such an interesting space. I think like it's all designed. It's sinister. It is sinister. These beauty standards are sinister,
They
and
are.
I go through real waves with them.
Same.
And I have seasons where I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. So much. I spend
Your feminist moments?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I spend so much time and money thinking about and engaging with this stuff when I could be doing other things.
And you want to rage at the patriarchy. Yeah, I get those
and I'm
moments
like-
all the time.
And I'm like, these are all just fucking weapons of female conformity to keep us busy and aligned and tired so that we do free labor and keep society up. You know, like I do. I have those moments where I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck it. And do you know what I do in those moments, Jem? I don't do the beauty things. I let them go for a while until I go, oh, you know what? I'd like to get my eyebrows done because I'm feeling like I just want to have that handled. Or, you know what? I'm going to get my hair done because I'm ready to feel whatever. I just wait for the next seasonal wind to take over me and I don't judge myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
I also don't judge anyone who, like, you don't have to have a backstory for why you want a superficial augmentation.
Totally.
And this is something.
And isn't that funny? Because I came to the mic.
You've got all your reasons why it's okay.
Sharing about my Asian heritage makes it okay. No, you're allowed to just want to have an eyelid surgery.
The same as you're allowed to just want this yellow lid because you like yellow more than purple.
Revz is holding a water bottle for those who can't see on this audio platform.
Like, I just feel like it's so funny about who deserves to want to augment and why, it's okay for you because you've got a family history of, or it's okay for her because she's always had insecurity about this. What if one day you want to be a blonde? That's no less, there's no more weight in either choice, I don't think. I think everyone can, like, this is how I feel about it. This ain't no temple. You know, I'm aging. This wonderful, silly, saggy meat sack has been with me since birth. I honor it in where it's carried me to, whatever, but I'll do the fuck I want with it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's my dog and I'll kick it.
I got a tattoo at 39. I can make my arms sticker books now if I want. And like, it's not, I am so grateful that it works, but it's going to change and sag and morph and have growths and weird hair. You know, I've got my grey pube now. Like, I'm not pretending for a second this is my 20-year-old temple that I should work. Like, I'll do what I want with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you want to maximize her to its potential however you damn like.
Yeah, but
without
what
the
is even
opinions.
potential? It's just what you want right
Well,
now.
your own potential of
Yeah.
how you see that it could be. That's how I feel about referring back to the photos of myself in my early 20s. I was like, wow, yeah, the hoodedness has really taken over and I want it back. And that's just what I'm leaning into. But speaking of privilege, do you know what is also a privilege, quite unique to us in our job as podcasters, is that I can crowdsource opinions and information and
you can get a reco.
well, yeah, what I want to know, DLs.
Oh my God, so rare that you call in opinions.
I am. I'm
You
calling.
want buy-in.
Well, I want to know, and I believe there will be DLs who have had blepharoplasty. Like, what was your experience of it? How was the recovery? Do you have a Sydney doctor reco? Like, I want first-hand experience, and I've got the privilege of calling on the DL community. If they know of anyone, please slide into my DMs. Share with me your before and afters.
And
Hype me up.
Thanks for sharing with us, Jem. You know, it's like I'm pumped. I feel the same way for you as I feel about our friend who's
Getting her nose done.
Getting her nose done.
Yeah.
I'm like, good on you. Great.
yeah.
How empowering to. It's the ultimate self-care to go, you know what? This is how I want to present in the world right now. This is how I want to show up, and I'm going to do it for myself, I'm going to do it for myself. It's such a hard thing to say.
It is.
I'm going to do it for
because
myself.
we've been taught. It's like, well, don't self-indulge.
Yeah.
Don't
be
do
so
that.
vain.
Don't be so vain. Stop caring so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned.
Well, hit me with your not spun.
Have
before
we
go.
hit not spawn hour? Oh, I'm very excited about my not spawn. It's kind of a little bit random. I got fed this on my Instagram and it instantly grabbed my attention. So there's this brand, it's called Kollab. That's Kollab with a K.
Okay.
So Kollab are famous for making picnic mats, but also like lunch boxes, mini cooler bags, wet bags, tote bags, picnic bags, like that
Out and about stuff.
out and about stuff. That's right. And they've done a collab. Kollab have done a collab. They've done a collab with Rhythm, and pardon my ignorance, I don't know what Rhythm is.
Okay.
If I'm honest, I am on exclusively the Kollab website. But they've collabed on a first aid kit.
Cute.
This is so fucking niche.
And so not need. It's in the want category. Well, you need a first aid kit.
Hard disagree, Revz. I'm putting this out there to the DLs. For those of you who don't have a really good first aid
Yeah,
kit
you got to have one of those.
in your home, you should have one. But if you care about things being aesthetically pleasing,
Which we do.
these kits are so beautiful.
Okay.
They come in lots of colors. I'm going to show Revz to get her live react.
Yeah, they're really cute.
They're super cute. They come with shitloads of goodies, as a good first aid kit should. But look at the colors, Revz.
Fun.
Aren't they beautiful? Like,
Yeah.
I would love this in my home.
Yeah.
And I was watching this reel that got fed to me on Instagram, and they talked about how they've partnered, I guess, if that's what Rhythm is, I'm not sure, or some paramedics medical service, where when it arrives to your house, all of the medical stuff arrives in a separate bag because they want you to go through the process of placing
Oh,
everything
so you know what you have.
so that you know what you have, so that you're more
Right.
aware of it, so that in an emergency, or even if like a grazed knee or your kid cutting their head open, you know what's in your kit and
Right.
what it's used for, which I thought was brilliant because we have a first
And
aid
you
kit.
can hit off your love of sorting.
100p.
You can sort things into
Oh,
categories.
it makes me so
So
happy.
soothing.
Oh, so soothing. Yes, very soothing. We have a first aid kit in our house. It's bright red and black. It's not particularly pretty. Have I ever looked in it to see what things I have? Never.
Oh,
I've only reached
I'm
for
in
it for
mine
the.
so often.
Are you?
Yeah, I've got sensitive skin, kids, so we often
Okay.
have like a rash or a sting or a grass reaction or a jellyfish or a sand thing.
So see, I just reach for paw in those instances. But like, if one of my kids slipped in the bath and like cracked their head open in the bath, I got some helpful shit in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I only looked at it recently because I got fed this, but now I want this Kollab times Rhythm first aid kit.
so
It's-
cute. Love the yellow.
By the way, it's $170, $169, which some people might balk at.
No, first
However-
aid kits are expensive.
Thank you.
They
I
are.
then went to Google to price compare.
Even empty ones are expensive. Like even just the containers
Yep.
are expensive. I think because you got to have one.
Yeah, well, I went down a full research vortex on this and it's reasonably priced compared to other brands and prettier
She sold it. Look
for
at
your
her.
pantry.
I believe you've done your job here. That is a good sold in, not spun. So cute.
Anyway, I love it. So if you're in the market or if you're not or you're ready to update yours, I can't recommend this enough.
So cute.
Hit me with your not spun. I said, hit me with your not spun. Do, do, do.
How often do you get new period underwear?
Ooh, not often
I'm
actually.
so slack
and
on
I'm
this.
due.
I'm due too. I think it's like maternity bras. You kind
yeah,
of like
so
get used
true.
to them and you forget. Once your period's done, you're like, yeah, I'll get new. And then you're like, oh, period's back and I didn't get new ones.
Totally.
And fuck, period undies have come a long way since I last purchased. So all mine are like giant, thick,
Yep.
and then tight around the edges.
Okay.
You know,
Uncomfortable.
like tight around the legs and tight around the waist. And I don't know why I've been living like this because I've discovered this super cute brand, Aunt Flo, but like it's
Ironically.
it's an ironic name. It's
Okay.
very cool. Like the branding's awesome if you care about that stuff, which we do. Aunt Flo are some young chicks and they've made the most gorgeous period undies. And they have
Fun.
Hipster, which I've talked about many times. I'm like such
You're
a
a rare
millennial.
breed.
I'm such a millennial. Remember, we've talked about this before, and all the deals have come out and be like, me too. I hate granny undies or high waist. I can't do a high waist. They make me uncomfortable.
See, it makes me feel held and supported.
I feel like if anything's around my waist, I get like a sore tummy. It's like so uncomfortable. I want Hipster where they're almost not there, but they're obviously holding the bit that has to. They've got these gorgeous, soft, with like a scalloped edge, like it's but
Ooh.
a softer material. I'm not describing it
Nice.
well, but they're just like lovely designs, and they're in hipster cut, which for me is just like, oh, that's my dream because I love pairing my period undies with my Heizomi just for that extra layer on heavy days
and also for nighttime.
and for sleeping. Yeah. Anyway, these are so cute. So many different styles, colors, and in hipster cut, which is just such a game changer.
What a great shout.
Yeah, Aunt Flo, check her out.
And as always, DLs, we have all the links for you in the show notes.
We do.
It's time to wrap up this episode, Revsy.
How are you feeling? Do you have a vulnerability hangover?
I actually feel a weight lifted off my shoulders. It's actually a real lesson
Is it
for
the weight
me.
of 2 eyelids?
Those heavy bags. No, I don't know. I feel good actually
Yeah.
because I don't know. I just feel like somewhere out there, this is what motivates me. There's a DL who has been toying with the idea herself and hasn't dared entertain it because she's scared of what other people think.
Yeah.
And I hope that maybe she might go ahead and do that thing that will ultimately make her feel better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Love
Yeah.
it.
So I
Great.
feel good. I feel a weight lifted. Thank you for holding space.
Of course, every time. We love you, DLs. And if you're a more time subscriber, we've got more big news. dropping on Thursday. Gem's got a life update, actually, and it's not about her eyelids.
Look, I thought it was a little life update. Revz will hard disagree and say, no, it's a fucking big life
It's a big
update,
deal.
guys.
It's a big
Anyway, we'll
deal.
be sharing that on Thursday. And as always, we'll be back in your ears on Friday with a Bestie Hotline.
See you there.
Bye-bye.